We could have accomplished such great things together.
Call me Anarky.
Howdy there. Welcome, everyone. Lord of Shadows. Mwah! LOS. Welcome to a new week's villains discussion. And this week's villains discussion, what I'm going to talk about is about a bad guy, or should I say minor villain, from Batman Universe, DC Comics, Anarky. Or should I say the first person who took the mantle of Anarky, Lonnie Machin, who's also known as the Joker's biological son. And before I get into the main discussion, I just only wish to say one thing, that this character, or should I say this villain, was suggested to me by one of my new friends that I met in college. I mean, this guy is really great and obsessed with comics, like I am. who doesn't love comics anyway? But seriously, he really is obsessed with them. Okay, jokes aside, he suggested me to, as a favor, as a wish, that I discuss Anarky, and so I will. Your wish will be granted, man. Anarky, aka Lonnie Machin, or say the first person who took the identity of Anarky. And when I say the first person, if you don't know, in DC Comics universe there were 3 people who took the mantle of Anarky. The first one, the original one, was Lonnie Machin. The second one was a villain, I think it was the codename was the General, who later took the mantle of Anarky. And the third one was a guy who wanted to get revenge about his sister, who was abducted by Mad Hatter, thinking that she is Alice, first time. So here we go. When we talk about Anarky, he's also not only he's known as the Joker's biological son. Believe me, when I first time I read the comic Anarky, I was really shocked. Really shocked, that the Joker even had a son. Really shocking, really shocking that time. So when we talk about Anarky, he possesses a genius level intellect, and also is particularly skilled at computer hacking, and of course, by the codename Money Spider. Anarky is also, don't forget to mention it, an adept martial artist. I mean, he's not master martial artist, but he's a good one. Impressive. Brilliant inventor, and also give the strategies which actually I can give him credit for. Really big credit. And also, don't forget, tireless crusader against authoritarianism. But when we talk about now, seriously, when we talk about, Lonnie Machin himself. Like I said, he's Joker's biological son. Even every single time when I mention that, I get shocked and, wondering, how the hell Joker can have a son. Because he's the last villain you can think he can have a kid. Or a daughter, whatever. But no matter, let's move on. So, him and also some kind of, wait a minute. Anarky's real mother, Lonnie Machin's mother, I think it was some kind of Vegas showgirl. Something like that, I don't know, but whatever. So, she or he, whatever, they were unable to care for Lonnie, so he was given to an orphanage. And also, when I have to say, when he was a child protege, he was really quickly adopted. And at the time, when he was just a little kid, unlike most other children and adults, he was really obsessed with political and philosophical literature, which I can say, it really made his adopted father worried and everything. And also, when he was just a little kid at the age of 12, when he was even a little kid, he was also worried, or should I say, he believed that in the elimination of government, which actually he felt was, that he was infamously corrupted by these, multinational corporations, which actually, when we talk about the real world, there is something that all other people in the real world are thinking. But that's a different story. So, at the age of 12, I remember that he built like this golden stick, who produced electricity and several smoke bombs, which actually really kind of impressive. I mean, for a 12-year-old kid to build these things. And when we talk about this golden stick, like this stun baton. Actually, there's actually most usual Anarchy's weapon when I saw him, not only in the comics, usual weapon alongside smoke bombs, and of course, there where we have he donned his Anarky costume. And of course, there where you have the beginning of Anarky's crimes. Because, he began to kill several corporation chief executive officers and spray, painting the political symbol for Anarky, on their bodies. Let's just say he painted on the same Zorro style. But only the big difference is that Zorro gave them a Z and Anarky gave them an A with all red and in circles. So, in short terms, he gave them a signature that he was here. That he was the one who done this. And also representing, liberty, to to stand up against like all the corruption and everything in the short term, because Anarky, the most particular goal, when I talk about him himself, is bring chaos and destruction, most of that, and to rise up, against all this corruption, most of all too. But when I talk about, because I'm saying that because I remember from the Beware the Batman series, the only animated series where he ever made an appearance, when he said like, "Welcome Gotham to the art of destruction," which actually was really kind of ambitious, and sinister in the way how he said it, they really like it. But the only difference is that unlike in the comics, in the Beware the Batman, he was all dressed up in white. But actually, when we talk about costumes, I rather prefer the red one. But when we talk about his character design, remind me a lot of V for Vendetta. Not only he's in the way how he thinks, he acts, or in most precisely his goal, but also in the character. I mean, the hat, the mask, the suit. I mean, okay, Vendetta had the black suit, and he had a mask, and had a wig and a mask, with mustache and a smile. Anarky had a golden mask, a red hat, and an all red suit with an Anarky on his with the letter A all around on his chest, on the costume, which actually really kind of impressive. I mean, both the characters are kind of impressive, but Anarky remind me a lot of them. So I don't know who was actually first created, or V or Anarky. I don't know that. But one thing for sure, when we talk about his powers are agility, attractive male, literally, electronic interaction, escape artist, gadgets, implants, insanely rich. When he was like money spider, when he was like stealing all the millions from the accounts of the wealthy corporations, of course, to give them to the third world countries. Okay, but let's move on. Okay, then we have intellect, stamina, stealth, technopathy, unarmed combat, and weapon master. But we're talking about when we're talking about martial arts, because you see, Anarky, I remember from the comics that Anarky with New Fuzz, Anarky. I remember from the comics that Anarky, studied all this like martial arts, and tried to build some kind of a new fighting style on his own invention. Let's just say it that way. Because if I don't know about Anarky, with his all the artificially enhanced intelligence boosted by this multiple of 10, he studied, like I said, various martial arts, integrating them with his mind into a smooth fighting style of his own invention, something like Deadpool, but a lot more serious. Let's say that way. But when we talk about as a really great level intelligence, great intellect, the really thing most impressed me when the time when he was built this machine that was fused with the two sides of his brain, increasing his intelligence to superhuman levels, which actually I really find really impressive. Which also communicated with him and helped him, control most of his like technological inventions via voice communication, as I remember from the comics. But actually, also I found it really, really impressive when I talk about level intellect and martial arts. But when I talk about but now after I'm saying all that, him as a villain. When I say him as a villain, he's a normal. He's an ordinary villain who wants to who have this some kind of a revolutionary spirit, So who wants to encourage all homeless or other people who like to stand up, with him to go against all this corruption, all these filthy governments, to try to destroy them and everything, and to build something new, or should I say, or more precisely, that Anarky can rule everyone, so they can do whatever they want in the short terms. So, yeah, he's the kind of type, as a revolutionary type villain. But also don't forget to mention that he is an anti-hero, because I remember once that he also helped Robin and Team Young Justice fighting villains like, Darkseid and... how the hell was that kid's name? That one with powers. Right. Clarion the Witch Boy. Right. I remember now. Clarion the Witch Boy. Which actually makes him an anti-hero. But when I talk about him as a character, he's a normal dude all dressed up in red who wants, revolution, who wants, disaster, who wants destruction, who wants chaos. In the short terms, he's some kind of a dark messiah, let's put it that way. But also that, he was an extremist, he was a fighter, he was a terrorist, he's a embezzler, he's a vigilante, he's a martial artist, he's a big bad arch enemy, hegemony, arrogant villain, bomber, fearmonger, on and off. He also presents, he also part of the on and off villains category. Enforcer, seeker of vengeance, swordsman, knifeman, and the list goes on and on. But in the short terms, when we talk about him as a character, fairly enough for me, Anarky is not he's not a villain to be I'm really actually impressed. I mean, okay, I'm fascinated with his level intellect, and also building that machine that increases his intelligence on the like superhuman level. Okay, I admit that was really fascinating and extraordinary. I mean, for a 12-year-old kid, I mean, for a villain like that. Also, I really liked, in the way when he was studying martial arts and tried to create something new, something new when we talk about martial arts, or should I say, martial arts on his own way, on his own way, or should I say, with his own style. Yeah, his own style. I mean, okay, I also admit that, and also admit that, he proved himself sometimes to be a worthy opponent of Batman, because he not only is intelligent and very good in martial arts, or should I say in combat skills, but also is very good, like trying, to making clues that to make sure like Batman or anyone doesn't fight him very easily. Which actually remind me a lot of the Riddler, but whatever. The Riddler and Anarky are very different. But when we talk about the clues and everything, so basically, okay. I mean, with all being said, his past is really normal. His past is normal. So he was born, and since he was a baby, he was put in an orphanage. He was adopted and built all of this by himself. So in the short terms, he's the kind of type of villain who begins out of nothing to be someone. No, more precise. No, wait. Let me rephrase that. From being nothing to someone. That's the right one. So that's it. I mean, like I said, Anarky. He's a villain who who is obsessed all destroying the corrupt, or should I say, he's a revolutionary villain. He's a revolutionary who thinks like that out with the old, in with the new. I just say it that way. And that like Anarky can rule forever, everyone. So yeah, I mean, also I can also remember like Anarky. He's also the type of villain who always when he partners up with someone, he always like can give a chance not only to his henchmen, but also can give a chance to prove himself to other ones. And also I see him in the comic books. I remember he's also very good in trusting. I mean, he's not that type of villain who doesn't trust anyone. On the contrary, he trusts everyone. Or should I say, he trusts his partners in that way. Which is actually this kind of odd. I mean, what can you expect when you have a 12-year-old kid? What can you expect? But so yeah, in the short terms, he's a normal villain who has this like a revolutionary spirit, who wants to bring chaos and destruction and around the world, trying to overthrow this corruption, and try to bring like this some kind of encourageable speeches to all homeless people, to rise up with him and go against the real enemies. Let's say that way. In the short terms, he wants Anarky to rule everything and everyone. Let's say that way. So basically, I mean, he's impressive, but for me, not so much impressive. Let's just say it that way. He's clever. He's good with clues. He's good as a strategist. He's good, in connections and sometimes in manipulation. Okay, he's good at that. He's also good in his level of intelligence and in combat skills. He's good. I mean, he's not awesome, but he's good. He's good, as a normal type of villain. So, with all being said, we finally came to points. 1 to 10. Anarky, okay. When I talk about the series and the video games, he was, impressive. He was just impressive. But when I saw him in the comics, like I usually do, he really surprised me. There were a few times Anarky surprised me. The first, the original one, surprised me. So I mean, he's not perfect. He's not perfect, like I said, to be 10 out of 10. No, but I will give him a 6.5 out of 10. 6.5, because first of all, he's a 12-year-old kid. I mean, how much intelligent he is. He still have a lot of things to learn. A lot of things. I mean, even he's famous as Anarky. He has a lot of things to learn, and he's not perfect because, you know, like Yoda said, much to learn you still have, and so Anarky too. So 6.5 out of 10 for me. It's fair enough, really fair enough. So here I am done. Rate the video, comment, subscribe, give me a positive example what you personally think about Anarky himself, about his abilities, about him as a villain, about Lonely Mansion being Joker's biological son. I mean, give me your own personal opinions, and also if you want me to comment your own personal villains on the comment section down below, just put their names and I will discuss them for you. Drop a like, I appreciate that. Peace everyone, have an awesome rest of the day. Laura Shadows like always, signing off. See you next time.